Hi students, this video is for students that were not here the day that I explained the children's storybook, so you will be able to watch this video to learn how to get started with this project. So for starters, this is the rubric for your storybook. So I will let you take the time to read through the instructions, but I'm going to walk you through the steps of how to use PowerPoint effectively and how to create like your master slide so that you don't have to keep recreating the same things over and over again, and so that you have a background instead of just a bunch of moving pictures. So here we go. So for starters, make sure you read through these steps. We're going to do step 1 together in class the first day, so you'll literally get out a piece of paper and you will create a flowchart for how your book will be set up. You'll also take some time to brainstorm different ideas for what your story could be about. And again, I'll let you read through these, but the basic things that I want to highlight is that you do have to have at least 3 choices. Make sure you read through all of these things. All of these things will be graded. There will be a rubric, but I'm just highlighting the important ones. So have 3 choices for the students to make, 12 slides total, and once you start making, there's the bell for lunch. Once you start making the different choices, it's easy to get to that 12, so it will be a lot easier than you think. You need to have a custom slide design. That's what this video is going to be all about. I'm going to show you how to do that. You have to have at least 1 picture or motion clip on every slide, and you need to have at least 3 GIFs. So that's like a moving picture. Sounds, you need to have at least 2. So they don't have to be anything crazy, but just incorporate 2 sounds throughout your story. And then finally, this step is the most important step, and you really won't be focusing on this until you're completely done. Make sure that everything is hyperlinked correctly, that when I click on something it takes me to the right slide. Place a hyperlink at the end to start the story over again. Always check your spelling and grammar. This is a kid's story, so it shouldn't be using, words that are very difficult, so it shouldn't be that hard to make sure that we spell things right. And then, of course, double check your work, just like you would in an English class. Double check, make sure you spelled things right. You're actually going to take some time to grade each other's, so it will be helpful when you grade each other's for you guys to see these different errors, because sometimes we don't always catch them when we're looking at our own. So those are the instructions. You'll have a copy of this rubric in Canvas. I will literally just go through and click the item that applies to your presentation. Okay, so now let's go ahead and open up PowerPoint. So here's the Frosty one that we did together. To get started with this project, you need a completely blank PowerPoint. So we're going to go to File, New, and double-click Blank Presentation. Okay, so what I'm going to focus on in this video is creating that custom background design. And I'm going to focus on this concept of the snowman. I'm just basically going to show you how to recreate this. So you'll make yours however you want, and I may change it up a little as I go through this video, but I'm just going to show you how to create this master slide. So this background, you'll notice as I'm clicking on this slide, none of this is clickable. These items are clickable because I've added them individually to each slide. But this background, I can't click on anything. And the reason for that is because I created this background as a custom design for my slides. So I'm going to walk you through the steps of how I did that. So for starters, we need to hit the View tab. And from the View tab, we need to click Slide Master. And then on this Slide Master, we're not concerned with any of these slides. We're really just going to focus on this very top one. So it defaults to take you to that second one, so make sure you scroll up and make sure you're actually on the master slide. So once you're here, we can go ahead and delete all these things, because we're just focusing on basically just the background. Okay, so I've deleted all those things. The next thing I'm going to do is pick a background. So up here at the top, we're going to click Background Styles. You have these basic options, so it's basically black, blue with some gradients, gray, some gradients, or white. If none of those work for you, you're going to click Format Background, and then you have more options over here. So I am recreating the snowman, so I need a blue background. So I'm going to click Solid Fill, change my paint bucket to the color that I want. And then for me, that's good. That's all I need. So I'm going to hit apply to all. And if you're on the master slide, you should have already seen all the other backgrounds change. You shouldn't have to click that button, but if for some reason it's not, then you can click apply to all. So there's a bunch of different options in here. I'm not going to go over them. I'll just click on them so you can see. So you have all kinds of different options for your story. Some of these are really distracting. Like that might be really hard for people to look at. So just be wise when you're choosing your background. Choose something that's not going to be distracting. So I'm going to go back to my solid color. I'm actually going to pick a lighter blue. There we go. Okay, and again, if it doesn't apply to all of them, just click the apply to all, then you're good to go. All right, so now I'm going to create the snow. And you'll notice, like I was saying earlier, it's just a big picture. And I only had to create it one time, and then I didn't have to mess with it anymore. So when you're creating this background, keep in mind this is going to be the background of your entire story. So as we click through these different slides, every slide looks the same. The only thing that changes is the text and then, the theme of the page. So when you're creating this, you only want to create things that are going to be consistent throughout the whole story. So my snowman is always on the right. You can decide whatever you want to put on yours. Okay, but basically everything is just a shape, how I created it. So I started with my snow, like the base for my snow down here at the bottom. And I'm just gonna make this white with no outline. And you could leave it at that, or how I made it actually look like snow was I put a bunch of circles on here. So to save myself some time, I created one and then I duplicated it over and over again. Okay, so there's my one, Control C, Control V, and I'm just doing that over and over again to create what looks like snow. And by just copying and pasting, it makes it really easy, and it saves you a lot of time. And it's okay if they get off the page, because when you put it in presentation mode, it'll crop it. Okay, so this time I'm going to put my snowman on the left, and again, it's just shapes. So I can come up here to Insert, Shape, Circle. I'm going to draw a big circle for the base of my snowman, make it white. Copying and pasting that, this time making it smaller. And then now here's the head. And then I could start creating like the hat and things like that. Okay, so if you did it that way, that's fine. Your other option is to come to the internet. And let's say I want a gingerbread man, because I already have one saved to my computer. That's why I'm using this one. Anything you search for, you want to make sure it's PNG. So always add that to your search. So I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to go find a picture of a gingerbread man that I think would work for my story. And how you know that it's a PNG, when you click on it, you should see a checkered background like you see here. And remember, for PowerPoint, we shouldn't right-click copy. We should always save the image to our computer. Okay, so I already have this, not this one, but I have an image of a gingerbread man saved, so I'm not going to go through that process. If you need to pause this video while you find a picture, that's fine. Just make sure you have something that's PNG. Make sure it has the checkered background. That way when you put it on your slideshow, it doesn't carry a white square background with it. So now I'm going to go to PowerPoint, and I'm going to insert my gingerbread man that I saved. Again, if you need to pause while you go find your picture, you can. Okay, so insert pictures, and then I'm going to go find my gingerbread man, which I feel like I had to, he was hiding in here for some reason. I like saved it weird. Anyways, so here's my gingerbread man. So let's say I had a story about a snowman and a gingerbread man that were friends. Okay, so on every slide I'm going to want my snowman and my gingerbread man, so I put them exactly where I want them. Remember, this cannot be edited later, so this is only for creating like the custom background. So your custom background only has snow and no characters on it because your characters change throughout the story or you want them in different places throughout the story, then you would not want to place them yet. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so once I have created this, we don't need any text boxes. All we're doing is the custom design. And once I've decided, okay, this is what I want my story to look like, this is what I want to be consistent on every slide, then we can hit Close Master View. So once we hit Close Master View, you'll notice this takes you back to regular. I'm in the middle of PowerPoint getting ready to make my presentation. So at this point, you would just start making your presentation. And I want to mention again, just in case you haven't understood until this point, your background's not editable. Okay, it is a custom design that you created that cannot be edited. Okay, so if you decide, you know what, that gingerbread's just in an awkward spot, it's hard for me to continuously place text over here. Really, it's not hard to do. All you have to do is move your text boxes over and then left align them. But it's totally up to you. If you decide, you know what, this isn't actually going to work out, that item's too big. The only way to edit it, if I decide I don't want this gingerbread man or whatever, or if I decide I want my snowman to be in different spots so I don't want him to stay consistent, again, we'll click View. We'll go to Slide Master. Make sure you're on the top slide up here, and then we can take the gingerbread man out. Okay, so we don't have to hit save or anything. We can just exit the master view and then look, he's gone. Okay, so that's how simple it is to create a custom design for your storybook. Again, make sure your background only has things that are going to be consistent. So if you do not want a snowman on every background, then do not put him in there on your master slide. And if you ever want to make changes, you can, but it always has to be through View and then through the Slide Master. So hopefully